Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. This time let's take a look at an awesome cooperative dungeon crawl board game with the tower defense elements, story-based exploration system and 100% strategic gameplay with zero randomness or luck elements. Yes, this wonderful game is Midhalla. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Aki Maya who sent me this wonderful game prototype. Main feature that distinguishes this game is that the gameplay is focused around the strategic hero combat mechanics, skills and complex strategy rather than randomness or luck of the dice. Midhalla's campaign and all scenarios are highly replayable with different hero classes, skills, events and varying enemy setups. The game also features a story-based exploration system that immerses you in a hero's journey and unlocks additional new game elements and stuff as you progress. It's very cool and it keeps the gameplay interesting and intriguing throughout the whole game. A game is designed for 1 to 4 players, age 14, and playing time can take up to 3 hours. Now let's crack on and take a look at what's inside the box, what it's all about and how to play this wonderful game. Box itself is nicely made with a battle scene on the front and the heroes on other parts of the box. And judging by the box size, we will have a lot of more cool stuff inside the final version of the game. In this prototype we have nicely made colorful rulebook with glossy finish. Here you can find a list of game components, setup guide, game overview, detailed explanation of all game phases with in-depth game mechanics, and on the last page you have party sheet. I love the style and quality of book, it looks really great. Next one we have the campaign book. The prototype has only 3 chapters in total, but the final game version is planned to have more than 12 chapters. Campaign book as well is highly crafted in color print with gloss finish and it is very pleasant to use it. 10 out of 10, very cool. Everything is so detailed and clearly laid out that you don't even need rulebook to start to play the first chapter. Absolutely sweet. Then comes the dungeon board, which actually is a central piece of a modular game board. Dungeon board has a resource tracker section that tracks amount of silver and runestone, item deck section where you place a deck of item cards, a price list for things that you can buy in the game, event card section where you place the event cards if they are triggered during the chapter. Events are kind of like a side quests or tasks that you should complete in the game. 3 initial sections of dungeon and dungeon entrance with the gate that you should protect at all costs. Then you have dungeon tiles that are added to the modular game board as you explore the dungeon and as it is determined in each chapter of the campaign. Another highly important component is hero tableau. It is a central piece of your hero and it tracks hero HP using this die as a counter, basic and ultimate abilities, identifies attacks or action result and consequences, upgradable skills and hero status, active or inactive using this token. Enemy bosses have similar tableaus with HP tracker, skills and abilities. This prototype has only one double-sided boss tableau, but in the final version of the game there are planned more. Then you have basic and elite enemy cards. Each enemy card represents a different monster. On the card you track monster's HP using a red token. Starting health of each enemy depends on the number of players in the game. Card indicates attack priority, damage rate, sometimes range and other attack or defense characteristics and abilities. Final version of the game is planned with more than 40 enemies. Tier 1 and Tier 2 event cards that may be required to draw if certain conditions are triggered during the game. Depending on the event, the outcome may be a one-time side quest, or it can cause lasting changes to the whole campaign. If so, then they are tracked on the party sheet. And again, final game version is planned with more event cards. This prototype has only one follower card, but again, the final version is supposed to have more. Followers are encountered during some scenarios, and they are activated and take action in the game same way as the heroes, following their specific rules. They are kind of helpers in this game. Next component is a trap cards. Card determines HP, ability, damage rate, attack type, and upgrade or repair costs of specific trap. Prototype has 6 cards, but the final game version is planned with more than 11 traps. Trap component cards that are revealed as you progress through the game, and you can obtain and use them to upgrade traps. Level 1, 2, and 3 hero skill cards that are drawn and used to upgrade or change hero skills. Then item cards. There are common items, rare items, and unique items. During the game, common items are placed face up on the table, but rare items are drawn from the face down deck when it is determined by the game rules. Then we have enemy and boss standees, quite nicely crafted for a prototype. Cool hero miniatures, trap miniatures with HP, track die, and trap upgrade tokens that indicate the level of the trap upgrade. Dungeon entrance die that tracks HP of the gate, armor 1 and 2 tokens that track ability to block some attacks, evasion tokens that track evasion status, fortified tokens are used to mark fortified map tiles, retaliate 1 and 2 tokens that track retaliation if you choose that ability on your hero. Retaliate basically subtracts 1 or 2 HP from the enemy which is attacking in the same map tile that your hero is positioned. Then we have a bleed and bleed plus 10 tokens that track enemy bleeding effect if you pick that skill or ability on your hero. Spawn tokens change the number and the type of enemy spawned on the map tile. There are 3 types of spawn tokens: no spawn, +1 spawn, and elite spawn. +1 spawn means that you spawn an additional enemy on the tile. Elite spawn means that you spawn an elite enemy instead of a regular one, and no spawn means you spawn nothing. A silver token is used to track silver, runestone token is used to track runestone, and the time token is used if you're playing timed missions or events. And finally we have player's aid cards. Okay, all that looks nice and cool. Now let's take a quick look at how to play this wonderful game. As already mentioned, it is a cooperative dungeon crawler where you can play as 4 characters against the game, with the main aim to fight and prevent demons from escaping dungeon. Dungeon entrance has a seal with hit points represented by this wonderful seal dice. So you must prevent that seal from being destroyed, and to do that you must stay alive as well. If you are playing the game for the first time, then probably it is much easier to go straight to the campaign book and start from the first chapter rather than read the whole game overview from the rule book. It is another great feature of this game. You just grab the first chapter and the rules are introduced naturally step by step. Very, very easy. Each chapter in the game is played in 3 rounds that consist of 4 phases, except the last round where phase 4 is replaced with epilogue. To start the game, you must place dungeon board on the table and a 20-sided die on the center of a glowing entrance of the dungeon and set it to 20. This will represent the gate hit points. Then place the silver token and rune token on resource track as it determined in the game rules. As you will start from the first chapter, place the map tile 7A adjacent to the path Y of the dungeon board, then 2A adjacent to the G and map tile 8A adjacent to the path Z. Later on you will need other tiles as you will explore a dungeon. Then each player selects one of the following heroes and takes their tableau, corresponding hero miniature and a 6-sided die. Place this die on a hero's tableau on the health rune and set die to the number indicated there. It represents a hero's hit points. So, if during the game it drops to the 0, hero's miniature is removed from the game's board until it is revived. If you play solo, then you must pick 2 heroes, Hanak and Anik, and follow the rules as it is for a 2-player game. Then place take activation token and 4 round wooden tokens for each hero. They will track status of your hero's abilities and hero in general, active or inactive. If hero spends all its abilities and moves, it becomes inactive until the next round. Each hero gets level 1 skills indicated in the campaign book. Skills are only predetermined for the setup of the tutorial chapter. In subsequent chapters, players are able to choose from the pool of skills. Then we have an enemy card deck that must be composed of a certain set of enemies for each chapter. It is determined in each chapter setup section. So prepare the deck, shuffle it, and you are set and ready to start your first chapter. As I said, very easy and very quickly. Now let's quickly go through the game's 4 phases because they will reveal some important and cool features and components of this wonderful game, and it will make all things clear for you. So, phase 1 is exploration phase, in which you explore an explored path and place new map tiles which build up dungeon. Then you must read the corresponding section in a campaign book and do as it says. And you must repeat these steps until the campaign story triggers phase 2. Phase 2 is preparation. During this phase you spend resources, prepare enemies and position your heroes. There are a lot of things that you can spend your resources on. For example, you can buy and sell items, fortify map tiles, build, upgrade or remove traps, and revive or heal heroes. There are 3 kinds of resources in the game. Silver, which is the main currency of the game, runestones with magical abilities, they are as well as a kind of currency, and trap components, which are used to upgrade traps. There are 3 different types of items: common items, rare and unique. They can be distinguished by the card back. You can only buy and sell common and rare items. Unique items are persistent part of your party's equipment. Map tile fortification is a process when you spend runestones to protect certain tiles from monsters. Fortified map tiles are marked with a fortification token and provides significant benefits. For example, you can build up to 2 traps on those tiles. Enemies will no longer spawn there unless there are spawn markers, and heroes can position themselves there before combat. So after all this cool stuff, you must shuffle enemy cards and spawn enemies. Place their standees on the game board, their cards next to the board, and place HP markers on their cards. To finish the preparation phase, you place heroes on the fortified map tiles. And then you enter phase 3, which is combat. Enemies start first. You must activate all enemies and do that in the clockwise direction to the right. Each enemy card determines the kind of attack, damage rate, and the preferred target for each monster. If it is ranged attack, then there will be indication of the range as well. And in this game, you don't need to have direct line of sight to perform ranged attacks. They can be performed kind of around of corners as well. Enemies always check for targets first. If it cannot reach or find a target, it always will try to target the dungeon gate. And if it cannot target even the gate, it always will move towards the gate. So easy and logical mechanics. When all enemies have made their turn, then comes trap turns. Traps as well are activated in a clockwise direction. If there are multiple targets, you may decide which target will be attacked. After all traps are made their turns, comes the hero turns. Each hero activates in a clockwise direction as well, and if there are multiple targets, you may decide which target to attack. So, as you see, there is no randomization or luck element in combat. It is purely based on your decision, chosen tactic and strategy. During the combat phase, heroes can perform any of the attacks displayed on their tableau. One action from the first row, one from the second row, and one or both ultimate abilities at the top of a tableau, and they can use special items as well. So all that you can do once per turn, and then your hero must be inactivated until the next round. And you cannot split turns into the parts. You must complete it all in one go for each hero. And then you must perform enemy turns, trap turns, hero turns, sequence over and over until either all enemies are destroyed or you lose the battle. After that comes phase 4, which is rewards. During this phase you check quest objectives, refresh one ultimate ability per each hero, refresh all used items, remove skill tokens and flip status token on your hero tableau, level up hero skills, drawing 4 skill cards from the skill deck and picking one, draw and add 2 rare items from the deck and phase them up so they are added to the items available for the purchase, gain 6 silver and 2 runestones per team, and gain 3 trap components that are drawn from the deck and flipped face up to become available for purchase. And that's it. After all that, you start round 2 with exploration, preparation, combat and rewards. In total you have 3 rounds. And during the 3rd round, instead of a reward phase, you read epilogue and finish the chapter. Overall, very enjoyable game with smooth, easy and logical gameplay mechanics. Main features that I loved in this game are truly dungeon crawling feeling with unknown changing environment, many different monsters, 0% combat randomness, logical and right combat mechanics, 100% strategic and decision-based gameplay, and that you can start to play this game even without reading the rule book. Well, I can say that Midhalla is a very serious emerging candidate between other similar dungeon crawl games, and it appears that it could easily establish its place among the best of the best in this genre. Write in the comments what do you think about this truly wonderful game. If you found this video useful, give it a like and share this video to help spread the word about this amazing game. Do not forget to subscribe, have fun gaming, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next episode.